the owners slash brewers slash janitors slash whatever needs to be done at 6 Mile Bridge. So you are hovering behind me.
Sorry.
So we are a local brewery. I'm excited that we haven't had our beer before because we're still finding every day that there are people in St. Louis who haven't heard of us or haven't had our beer. So hopefully we can convince you to enjoy our beer. If not, you'll probably enjoy Ryan's accent for the whole evening. So we started 6 Mile Bridge in 2015 in August. So we've been around for just over a year now. But our brewing journey did not start here in 6 Mile Bridge. I'm originally from St. Louis, born and raised, and Ryan is from a little bit further south. Ryan is from South Africa, and so he's actually had the privilege of brewing on 3 different continents, in Australia. That's where you brewed your first beer, right?
Right.
Yeah. Australia, South Africa, and then now here in North America. So that's pretty cool, I think. So we had a brewery over in South Africa before. That's where our professional brewing careers started. We started in our kitchen, and we had a dinner party, and a distributor was a guest at one of our dinner parties, had Ryan's homebrew. People always tell you your homebrew is good, but they're your friends, and they're drinking your beer for free. So of course they're going to say it's good, right? Because they want you to keep giving them free beer. So, this distributor was like, I'd love for you to go professional with this, and got us connected with a brewery just outside of Cape Town. So let me backtrack. We actually met, I was living in Cape Town, we met through mutual friends, and Ryan, I played hard to get for quite a while, and Ryan is very stubborn, so if he doesn't answer the question. So anyways, we met, got married, and then we're having that dinner party, and that's where we got hooked up with that distributor. And then we started brewing on a 5-barrel system, and we bottled 100% of what we did over there. So we had a front label and a back label, and the labeler broke right when we started. So we had to hand label them. So it wasn't, like Schlafly has one label that goes all the way around, like easy to apply, one sticker. We had 2, front and a back. So when we would go and hand label 800 beers, it ended up being 1,600 labels. So I swore that we would never have a front label and a back label, and here we are in St. Louis, and we bottled 2 of our beers and then have a front label and a back label. So, but we do have a labeling machine now, so that works. So we started 6 Mile Bridge in 2015. Does anybody who, not getting married, I know they know the story. Can anybody tell me where 6 Mile Bridge is besides the brewery? We're actually named after something different. Does anybody know?
Thank you.
Tell?
This is Ireland.
Yes. We're actually named after a village in Ireland, and it's called 6 Mile Bridge. There's no bridge. There might be a bridge somewhere in the world that's 6 miles long. I don't know, but we're not named after that. So we're named after the village in Ireland called 6 Mile Bridge. It's called that because it's 6 miles in between 2 major cities, in between Limerick and Innis. And back in the day, if you were traveling from Limerick to Innis or vice versa, the terrain was so rough that you would have to stop and spend the night in the village of 6 Mile Bridge. You could only go 6 miles in one day. So you would, people would stop in and they would spend the night in pubs because they had rooms for rent upstairs. So you would stop in, you'd have a pint with your friends, you'd have a meal, spend the night, and carry on. And so there's an old Irish proverb that says, there's no such thing as strangers, only friends you haven't met yet. And so they really became known for their generosity and their hospitality, and that's something that's really important to Ryan and I and to how we do our business. Relationships are key. I know I see a lot of people out here tonight who are regulars at our bar, and it's just really great to be able to have that relationship and just kind of get to know some really awesome people in St. Louis. So that's a little bit about us. Ryan is going to talk a little bit about our system, and we'll talk about beer.
I'm from South Africa, from Cape Town. I met Lindsey there in 2010, got married in 2011, but that much of a fight. We moved over here to be closer to Lindsey's family. As she mentioned, she's from St. Louis, born and raised. My family is all over the world. My parents actually live in England. Most of my family lives in Australia. I've got a little bit of family in South Africa. I'm the only sharing holding down America at the moment, so we work on that. So we started 16fall Bridge in 2015. We have a 15-barrel brew house. Actually, it's an oversized 15-barrel brew house. So I normally crank out like 18, 19-barrel batches. Today we brewed our 53rd batch, which we're pretty stoked about. We're moving towards 100. We've got something pretty special planned for that. We have 30 barrels and 60-barrel fermenters. Actually, we just expanded onto 60-barrel fermenters. One of the beers you're going to taste tonight is our flagship. I'll talk more about that a little later. But we basically bought that beer for that beer, just to keep up with production. We are production breweries, so we sell into bars and restaurants across St. Louis. We are only in city and county at the moment. We do have a few accounts in St. Charles. And we don't go out of St. Louis City purely from a demand in St. Louis side. We just can't produce enough to go outside St. Louis at the moment. We primarily package into kegs, and we do bottle cap some of our beers.
This is one of them.
And this is one of them. So this is the Bavarian Hefeweizen. Anybody have any idea what Hefeweizen means? You might have learned this last week. Heard you had a pretty good hack. So Hefeweizen translates to, it literally means yeast wheat. It's a German beer. It's from the southern German region. It's not like other American wheat beers. It's not yeasty or grainy. It's very clean. You're going to get a little bit of banana on the nose. You can see it's a little bit of pale in color, a little bit of haze to it. That's just the yeast. So we ferment this beer out a little higher. We ferment out about 74. We use degrees Fahrenheit. We use a yeast called Brewers from my yeast. It's my favorite beer that I brew. It's simple, it's clean, it's very easy to drink on a hot summer's day, like today in November. This one's the beers we bottle, and I truly thought this was going to be our flagship because it is my favorite beer. As arrogant as that sounds, but it is not. But it is still pretty popular, and you can purchase it.
Yeah, so like other American wheat beers, like Ryan said, they're a little more bready, a little bit more yeasty. Sometimes you've got the range of like clove and citrus to banana on the nose. There's a lot of really great Hefeweizens in town that are more on the clove and citrus side, so we thought, why not go for the more banana side? So that's why you get more of the banana on the nose. We didn't actually use bananas in this beer, although I've been asked that question multiple times. There were no bananas harmed in the making of this beer. But it's really great. We're really excited. We also have made a wheat beer is great on its own, and it's great to also add different things. So this summer we kind of played around with adding different fruits to it and different things like that. So be on the lookout next year for next summer for those fruits.
Yeah. So we use 100% ingredients, 100% German ingredients in this beer. So German wheat, German malt, German hops, German yeast. As I mentioned, we ferment out a little higher, just kind of stress the yeast so you get more of that honorary nose coming through. And we underpitch, so we pitch a little bit less, which is about 750 million cells per milliliter. And if you guys that know what that means,
all you yeast heads out there.
We put less yeast in the beer to stress it out, so you get more of those phenolics coming through, malt aromas coming through. We really want the yeast to speak through on this beer. So I could say about that.
A little about what we did before we got into brewing.
Yeah, so what do you think?
I'm from a marketing background, so I was doing marketing specifically for nonprofits when I was in South Africa, when I was there for 5 years. So that was Sorry, I got distracted by food. Happens often. So I did marketing, and then Ryan's background was in finance.
I've got to jump around a little, but when I left school, I traveled for a year around Europe and worked in factories, and I swore I would never ever work in a factory again. So I went to study IT information systems on it, and after that went back to the UK, worked for an IT consulting firm in London for about 4 years, realized that I was more involved on the business side, or getting more involved on the business side. If my accent is kind of like getting in the way here, just stop and ask me to repeat myself, please. Okay, good. So from there, went back to school, did a finance and economics degree, went and worked for a management consulting firm, focusing primarily on basically operational efficiency, so making businesses run more efficiently, streamlining them, so reducing costs, reducing waste. Then decided that I wanted to go more into the strategy side, so I went back to school. It was kind of like a career student. Went back to school and did the MBA, focused on finance, and then got more into the finance role. So still working for a management consulting firm, but basically helping companies grow through Africa. So I worked for a global company called Frost & Sullivan. They're an American-based firm. They've got about 50 offices globally, and I was basically in charge of Africa, helping companies like GE, Schneider Electric, big companies like that grow through Africa. So a lot of those little lessons we're using in our own brewery, although we are very small. Our team is a total of 6. And we currently occupy 6,000 square feet. We hope to one day be one of those big companies where we can carry on using those skills.
So I think it's funny that you got a job straight after high school working in a factory,
Right.
and you went through all the school,
Yeah.
and now here you are working in a factory. A beer factory, but
Yeah.
better than a factory.
You mentioned that you're running your brew house about 20 to 25% over nominal capacity. Is that common practice for the kind of companies that can make a 50-barrel brew house, or is that just something that you've got a company that's willing to make you something that's a little extra in terms of actual capacity versus nominal capacity as well?
Yeah, so our mash tun is probably like at least a 22-barrel mash tun. So I already stressed the kettle a little, but it is an oversized kettle. It's about a 22-barrel kettle as well. It's full capacity. I mean, I wouldn't brew at that level, but when we ordered, I guess everything's a little bit oversized. Fermenters certainly are oversized, probably by about 20%, which you need for, there's like the head because they're pretty vigorous. So yeah, it's not too uncommon, I don't think. So we brew a little bit more and we yield probably, of 19 barrels, we'll probably keg off by 16 barrels. But we double batch, so that's actually something I should have mentioned. We've got 30 barrels and 30 barrels and 60 barrel fermenters, so we will double batch. So we'll start brewing in the morning, start at like 7 in the morning, and we'll end up at like 9 o'clock at night, and we will fill up the 30 barrel fermenters. So we brew back to back. Yeah, and if we're putting a 60 barrel fermenter, we will do that for 2 days in a row, which is pretty tough on the body. Please ask more questions.
Where's your brewery?
Cool. So we are in Maryland Heights. We're about 15 minutes from here. I know that because I literally live around the corner. And then I think I can get to the brewery in 14 minutes. So yeah, we're in Maryland Heights. We're on Dorset Road. We're on the inside of 270. So for those that are stressed about going past 270, we are not over 270. We're on the inside of 270.
And our tap room is open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the evenings. It says 5 o'clock on our website when we open, but we do unlock the door. Maryland Heights is a little funny about parking, so we do unlock the doors earlier. And if you happen to wander in before 5 o'clock, they'll serve you a beer. So,
like 3:30.
So don't be scared of Exactly. So don't be scared of the 5 o'clock. You can come in earlier. Also, Ryan and I are at the brewery all day, all week long.
7 days a week.
The people who know us well know that if you need a growler fill or you need some packaged beer throughout the week and it's not a normal taproom hour, just call the main office number. If we're there, we will happily fill a growler for you or some packaged beer, or if you need information about anything. We just can't always stop our full day to serve you pints all the time. So, but if you need a growler, we're there.
Yeah. And if we're brewing, we'll be on the back.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk a little bit more about the South African brewery?
South African brewery. So we actually stole the name from, yes, we stole the name, or we were inspired by the name of one of Goose Island's beer for 312. We already thought the code, the area code was so pretty, the zip code was a pretty cool idea. So we called our brewery 021 Brewing Company. 021 is the area code in Cape Town. I think we were the 9th brewery in South Africa. So South Africa is what, 55 million people. I think in St. Louis there's like 55 breweries at the moment, or a tenth of that. So maybe even less, maybe yeah. 5% of that. It's
It
crazy.
was really interesting to be the 9th brewery in South Africa when we were there, because you would think it's such a small grouping of breweries, and I think 4 of us were in Cape Town.
Yeah, the
Right?
majority of Cape Town's more first world and more. Has anybody been to Cape Town? So Cape Town is one of those really strange cities. It's a first world city caught in a third world continent. Every year it is voted in the top 10 travel destinations. It's just a very beautiful place that's very European. It's got a lot of European influence. So it adopts things a lot quicker. So craft beer was adopted probably about 15 years ago. Pretty expensive to set it up. Could be from everything being imported in. Which is why we leveraged somebody else's equipment and we rented their brewery every Saturday.
What was interesting to me about the climate was that it was very much every brewery for themselves. So I had approached several other breweries. We didn't have access to the same ingredients that we have here, and so we approached several other breweries to contract out. Thank you very much. To co-op on getting hops or malts that we couldn't get, so we could all go in on it together and pay a little bit less. And everybody was very much at arm's length. You can do with your own thing. I'm not sharing my recipe with you. We weren't asking for the recipes, just what they wanted hops. So when we came to St. Louis, it was we were very welcomed into the industry. It was very much welcomed with open arms. Everybody we met was like, hey, if you ever need anything, let us know. Ryan from O'Fallon spent how many hours trying to fix our bottling line?
By the way, we don't share recipes. Just to be very clear. Brian from O'Fallon is Brian owns the head brewer of O'Fallon. He's been a good 2 days helping me fix my bottling line.
It's just been really great to come here and start the brewery here, and just to be it's very crowded, but everyone still kind of welcomes each other in, and it's been quite good. So we should probably talk about this next beer.
Yeah, and we've also been very lucky very blessed to be able to help other people as well, which is pretty cool. We can take that. So this next beer that you've got in your hands is a French Saison. Does anybody know what Saison translates to? That's correct, season. So basically it's a farmhouse ale, so from days past where the farmers used to brew this in winter, so they'll be ready for the summer. I think they had a legal limit or some limit that they could drink like 5 liters a day. That was like kind of their quota, which 5 liters is quite a lot. That's 10 pints. So I don't know how much farming they're actually doing. So this is a 5.4% ABV, light body, light beer. Again, we wanted to just really speak through on this beer. So if you look for our nose, it's like perfume. Again, we made this beer on a little higher and we stressed the yeast out, so we underpitch a little bit. We use a French style yeast. We use French style yeast from Y yeast. Most of my yeast comes from Y yeast. I like them, they're pretty cool. And it's pretty dry. This beer actually fermented out in like 4 days. It fermented right down to like 1.5, 1.6, so it was really, really dry.
There are different types of Saisons. Some are more peppery and spicy. We chose to use a French yeast strain, which is a little bit more floral. This is a lot more, it's more aromatic. We carbonated this a little bit more so that it really finishes dry and clean. So we also brewed, this is the base beer, and then we also brewed this year a harvest peach version. So we added 250 pounds of peaches to it. So that was also something that we did this year too. So it's fun to be able to play around with things and have access to ingredients. So.
We'll do more of that next year as well. This is going to run out. So, yeah, you enjoy.
What's everybody thinking of Saison?
Do you guys have any questions?
I guess maybe just sort of exactly what was behind what you got
Of sugar in the solution. So when you're measuring that gravity, or how much sugar is in solution, it starts to drop. So when I say it finished off really dry, this went from like 5.4, so this went from like 12 to 1.6. Most of our beers finish at like 2.5.
And that's just measuring the amount of sugar that's in the beer, that's left over in the beer. So the yeast ate so much sugar that only 1.5, 1.6 degrees Plato was left over.
And it happened really quickly over a very short period of time. That's why it's really dry. That's a great question.
That was a long biological answer.
So I actually talked about a lot of other stuff there too. Anyway.
You don't give specific names to your beers, then just the type?
Yeah, thank you. So we don't. So we actually want people to know what they're drinking when they order our beer. So we're really focused, and we knew coming into quite a crowded market that we were going to kind of struggle to get our foot in the door. And we just wanted to really brand 6 Mile Bridge. We love the name 6 Mile Bridge. I think it's something that everyone can relate to. Our core value is relationships. I think that's important. So yeah, I think we will do a limited release series, which will probably be coming out like December, January, some barrel aged stuff. Some whole series of that. There's 5 beers, and those will have specific names. But that's more like a passion of mine as opposed to our core beers that will go out to market.
Yeah, I think we wanted people to buy into who we are at 6 Mile Bridge and to know that if they're having a 6 Mile Bridge beer, regardless of the style, they're buying into something that we think is a good beer. Yeah, so you know what you're buying, you know what your style is. There's a lot of really great names for beers out there, and so we thought we'd be different and call it what it is. You want to talk about this beer?
Yeah, so this beer you got in your hands is an Irish red ale with honey. This is our flagship beer. If you hold on to the light, you'll see it's got that deep ruby red color. So this is what we bought the 60 barrel fermenter for. This is one of those beers that I literally could not keep up with production. If anybody knows McGurk's, this is their house red. We do a house red for a number of different restaurants that will ask us to brew this for them. Well, we brew it for everybody, but they put on their tap handles. So this, we add 40 pounds of honey per 15 barrels. The honey doesn't really add any sweetness to it, as you might have taste it, but it kind of gives you a little bit on the nose, a little bit of aroma on the nose. And then in the taste, you get a little bit of caramel, you get a little bit of toffee.
And the honey is really there just to kind of smooth out the bitterness. If you had a traditional Irish red, like a Smith's or a Killian's, they finish quite dry and bitter. We add the honey to kind of smooth that out and to kind of enhance those caramel and toffee flavors throughout the whole beer. So, and we don't use, or we try and use local honey. Is anybody a beekeeper in here? An apiary? So we try and source local honey and add local honey to this as much as possible, but with 40 pounds per batch, it's a lot of honey, and most local people don't have that on hand every 2 weeks. So we try and add as much as possible and use as much local honey as possible. So if you know of anybody who keeps bees, you keep bees?
Missouri honey out of Florissant, they're in all the
They do.
all the grocers.
They do. They don't. We've talked to them a few times. We've used our honey a few times. They're actually quite good. I appreciate that. So my mom actually started keeping bees, thinking she was going to help the brewery. She has one hive. She might get a jar this year.
It's always good.
Let's not think of it. There will be one beer that has a little bit of my mom's honey in it. Everybody will know about it.
40 pounds, it is, I don't know how many gallons is it?
We brewed the Irish Red today.
Yeah, I brewed that today. It's not that much.
Maybe like 2 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah, they come in 5-pound jars.
Yeah.
So it's 8.
Yeah.
5-pound jars? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 8. We do double batch fermentation, 160 pounds per fermenter.
So the 60 barrel fermenter
Yeah.
has a lot of bottles of beer in it. Does anybody know how many bottles, do you want to take a guess on how many bottles of beer are in a 60 barrel fermenter?
Closest time? Oh, a little more than 12. A little more. I think it's like 20,000, isn't it?
I think it's 18,000.
Is it 18,000?
Oh no, yeah, a little bit higher than 18. 19.
19,800.
98.
19,800.
I don't know why I said it.
Yeah.
We got some prizes. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a great beer. I didn't realize this was going to become our flagship, but like I said, it's one of those beers that I cannot keep up with production on. And we do bottle this. Say bottle loosely. We only do cases for restaurants, more like high-end restaurants like 11 Mississippi and those kind of places. You're right there. we typically sell in draft. We will start packaging. We've been approached by shops and a couple of other stores to package, but that is not a 2016 thing. That will probably be like a spring, fall, 2017 thing.
Okay, so I know the answer to this one. So if there's 19,800 beers, if you drank one beer every day, how many years would it take you? No, he's the math guy. He's the numbers guy.
I'm 58 years old, so today I'm 1,401 days old, so I'm going to say it takes about 42 years to run.
That's close enough. I got it.
Wait a minute. What are they doing? I thought you were supposed to raffle. It's hard to control.
Not sure an audience. Yeah, I think very, very basic beers. We launched with 3 beers over there, a pale ale, our wheat beer, and our stout, which actually our stout was called 6-mile bridge. So not so different. I mean, we're starting to play around with a little bit more variety at the moment. We've got access to way more ingredients here, way more fresh ingredients here. We've got access to barrels, although we did live in wine country and I kind of regret not going that route. But our beers are, they more advanced. I think as a brewery, we've grown tremendously over the last 14 months. And I think our confidence is growing, just seeing the reception that we've received. We've got about 150 accounts across, 150 customers across city and county. We've been very, very blessed. We've been very welcomed into that US market, and it's giving us the confidence to go and kind of push the boundaries. Lindsey talked about a couple of other beers. She talked about the Harvest Peach. We also did a blood orange algae with coriander. I mean, those are beers that literally launched on a Monday, and by Friday afternoon they were sold out. And that's the kind of thing we're going to start bringing out again next year, and just playing around like with barrels and.
You guys are thirsty, so we'll keep making beer as long as you're thirsty. We'll keep making beer.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so we've
We also were
been very blessed.
able to kind of knock out most of the kinks in South Africa. So all the book beers or that's not quite what we wanted. That we kind of got that all out of our system there. So when we came here, it was great to be able to know these are the beers that we want to come out with. These are the beers that we want to be able to bring to this market. Play around with them a little bit because we have more access to ingredients and add peaches or blood oranges or whatever. So I'm glad you guys are thirsty. So drink it.
Well, 3 years.
So what was the climate like as far as the consumers in South Africa? Was craft beer really a thing? Was it about to be a thing? Did nobody have any idea what it was?
Right.
Or, did Budweiser still rule the world? Or
Yes.
So we've got our own version of AB over there. It's called South African breweries. At first there were, I think it was like 2000, before InBev bought AB, South African breweries was the biggest brewery in the world. They own Miller Coast, they own Blue Moon, they own Argonatus.
So the SAB Miller Coors is South African brewery.
Yeah, South African brewery. So they're the biggest brewery, or they were the biggest brewery in the world. They're certainly the biggest brewery in China and the rest of Africa and South America, which is why InBev has just bought them. So we grew up drinking, it's called Castle. And Black Label, which is like Budweiser and Budweiser. So not very exciting beers at all. Also brewed, it's basically the same beer. So we grew up drinking that. So no, craft beer was not a big deal in South Africa at all. It is growing tremendously. For some reason, we still get invited to go to festivals over there every now and then, different events.
There's probably about 35 breweries in South Africa now, so it's really kind of, maybe more, yeah. It's taken off quite a bit, but I think the palate, the consumer palate was still very young. I would say maybe it was more like St. Louis's craft beer market, maybe in the early 2000s, maybe, where it was just kind of on the cusp, and the people who were the movers and shakers were starting to kind of pick it up. It was kind of like the hipstery thing to do. But it was a lot of like maltier lagers, pale ale. Our pale ale was our best seller by far. It was very basic things. IPAs were not a big deal there.
You never brew a double.
Our stout was really difficult to sell because people were like, you can't see through it. Why would I drink this?
Speaking of Belgian doubles, so the best you guys are going now? Is the Belgian Double. So this is one of those beers that really improves with age. Got a dark color. You can see through a little bit. Got a fantastic nose. You get all sorts of dark fruits in there.
The nose is a little,
Little
I don't know,
chocolate.
does anyone else get chocolate on the nose? Yeah, a little bit of chocolate. I got one
So
double.
again, we brewed this very true style. So we used these Belgian grains. We imported Belgian candy syrup, and I think you can taste the difference. A lot of people when they brew these kind of beers, they'll invert their own sugar, and it just doesn't ever come out the same. Again, this finished pretty dry, but so much aroma on this beer. Yeah, we haven't got too much of this left. In fact, I think one of the last cakes is on tap here is this road, and this is one of our most, maybe the most expensive beer I've ever brewed. I think we used about 1,500 pounds of grain. So I don't. We've got a pretty manual system for now. So I literally have like an old-fashioned mash paddle, and I stir the mash. So when you think about stirring 1,600 or 1,500 pounds of grain, it gets pretty tiring, especially when you're double batching.
Ryan has one great bicep and one great tricep because he just stirs in one direction the whole time.
So, totally lost my train of thought.
But we used a lot of grain.
Yeah, a lot of grain.
And we imported Belgian candy syrup for this as
Sure.
well. So very traditional. This is one of the oldest styles of beer. It's been around since forever.
Not this specific one.
Not this one, yes. But the style has been, it was traditionally brewed by monks. They usually brewed something a lot lighter and drier before. And then I think it was the mid-1800s when they decided to experiment with a stronger, more fortified brown ale. And this was the result. So,
Yeah. So this is 8%. Kind of deceptive because I don't think it tastes like it is 8%. I don't get any heat off this at all. We use a Belgian Abbey yeast.
so the traditional...
From Y yeast.
But it's a traditional Abbey-style yeast that the Trappist monks would have brewed with when they were brewing it in the 1800s. So, yeah.
And I can't remember the hops I used.
That's because you were stirring so much.
Slipped my mind. Yeah.
We crush all of our own grain. So some breweries used cracked grain. We decided we wanted to have our own mill and crush our own grain. That allows us to have control over the size of how fine or how coarse we want to actually crack the grain. And the purpose of how fine or how coarse is how much sugar we can pull out of those grains so that we can get that higher alcohol content. So, yeah, we've got a little mill. Cool fact, our mill room had to be explosion proof. Not cool because it was a lot more expensive than we thought it was going to be, but it is explosion proof because grain dust. So. No, it's not something I'm looking forward to. And I don't think we're really at risk for it with the amount of grain we use at a time. But, yeah. Oh, now I'm scared. Because I load the grain. Ryan's in the brewery, but I'm in the grain room.
Those 1,500 pounds get loaded by Lindsey.
It's true.
So that's where the muscles come in. Yeah.
That's a great question.
You can answer.
Fine.
I would imagine it is beet. It is the traditional way that they prepare it. I don't know what acids they add to invert that sugar. It comes out really dark, almost pitch black. It looks like molasses almost. It smells heavenly. It is delicious. It's super sweet. It will eat your teeth.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. 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 It smells fantastic.
The brewery
so
smells
we
really good when we brew this.
we buy it in these pretty sophisticated, like 5-pound pails, or 5-gallon pails. It looks really cool. They've got like these like spaceship kind of designs to their stuff. I don't know why. It's all sterilized, so we just pour it straight in. We normally add it at the end of the boil, just to give the yeast some more sugar to eat. And produce more phenols. It's this year. So I did an imperial version of that. I did a 10.2% version of that. We put it into some Four Roses bourbon barrels. We literally drove down to Four Roses, picked them up. They'd emptied them that morning, brought them back that Wednesday, filled them up with a stout. It's been in there for about 3 months. We added Indian vanilla beans on Friday. We'll leave them there. They're pretty smoky and like a ton of flavor, a ton of aroma coming through on the nose. We'll leave them in there probably for about another 3 weeks before we test that again. We are going to be bottling that, and it's only going to be sold through our tap room. We haven't even made this public, to be honest. We've sold. Well, I mean, we can tell people now, but we've sold probably like 60 bottles. I'm only doing 600, and we're limiting it to three per person. So if you guys want to get on the list, you got to go to the tap room, put your name on the list, and you will be one of a handful of people in St. Louis that gets our beer. It's our first barrel release. I'm super excited. In the works, we've got some wine barrels on the way, some Chardonnay barrels. So we've got a Saison going in there. We've got a
basically
Berliner
Ryan
Weiss.
picked up these 4 barrels, and now all he wants to do is barrel age stuff.
It's true.
So I feel like I'm going to be
true.
brewing all the regular beers, and Ryan's just going to be.
That's why they say you got to brew the beers you have to brew, so you can brew the beers you want to brew. Yeah, so we're pretty excited about that. I certainly am. Yeah, we got some great ideas. We're actually doing a series of 5 beers. So it's called the Big Five in Africa. It's elephant, rhino, buffalo, lion, and leopard. So we're doing a 5 beer series of 5 big beers that are all going to be barrel aged. And yeah, if you want to get on the first one, we're probably going to be releasing it like December, January, and it's going pretty quickly.
We're not going to put a date on it because we want it to be ready when it's ready.
Yeah, it'll tell the crowd. Yes. So this is a red IPA. So we use about 1/3 of our malt bill from the Irish red. So you get that like ruby red color coming through if you hold up to the light. Not too much on the malt flavor, but you get a ton of citrus, a ton of tropical fruit coming through on the nose. We use a ton of citra in this, and I almost mean like a metric ton. I dry hop this with 12 pounds of citra per batch. So this has probably got about.
But you quadruple hop this.
So this has probably got about 24 pounds, 26 or more. It's got about 30 pounds of citra per 15 barrel batch. Yeah. So you get a lot of on the nose, but we also do more of like, so you get a lot of like the Northeast style beers coming through. This is not turbid like some of those other beers coming through, but we don't add too much on the bittering side. So it's very smooth. You get a lot of.
It's more for the hop flavor.
Yeah,
more
we let
than
the hop
just
speak
like
through on
the
this.
strip the enamel off your teeth type IPA.
A little bit stronger at 6.7%. We use Chico yeast. It's a house strain. And yeah, I think it's just got a very pretty color, and I think it smells fantastic.
Yeah.
It's juicy. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we use
we use
pelletized
pelletized.
hops. No, it'd be more than that. It's more than a 5-gallon bucket. So
I'm gonna
we,
buy
like
you a
Lindsay
5-gallon
said, we do.
bucket for Christmas.
So we quadruple hop it. So we add at 30 minutes, we add at 15, 10, and no,
We added at different type strains.
we added a 30, 15, 5, and flame out or whirlpool, and then we dry hop as well. IBUs on this is 70.
So
ABV is 6.7.
6.7 ABV, yeah. So the human palate, so these are IBUs are obviously the International Bittering Unit, and the human palate, does anybody know what the range that the human palate can actually detect? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. So it goes from 7 up to 80. So that's great.
So all your macro beers sit on the line of
just
7.
talking. That's talking too much. What happened?
Yeah, so all your macro beers are going to sit on the line of 7, and then you get crazy IPAs like Stone makes some that are like 120 IBUs, which just literally rip the enamel off your teeth.
But they taste
Which I kind of dig.
Yeah, so entry-level macro beers or whatever are more around like the 7 mark.
Yeah, like
And
your
then-
Miller Coors, Bud, they're all
Yeah.
going to be on the threshold of 7.
So And then IPAs are anywhere from
50?
yeah, from 50 up to a billion. But we can only taste up to 80, so. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a malt balance on this IPA as well. So it kind of balances out that craziness of the hops, so it's not overly hoppy.
And if it finishes off with that grapefruit kind of bitterness. That's 70.
70.
But we use citrus, so you don't get like that piney resinous bitterness. It's like more tropical, more juicy fruit. Yeah. What do you guys think?
What does everybody think of this one? Everybody like it? Right on. Cool. Sweet. And then we'll do our raffle. And anybody? Nope. All right. Right on.
Cool.
Okay, you got to pick your favorite. You guys ready? All right. How many people liked the first beer, the Hefeweizen, the best? First beer.
3.
All right. Right on. Well, there you go. 3 people. Sweet. All right. How about second beer, the Saison? Second beer.
Come on.
Huh, 3 again. Wow, how about that? There is obviously going to be a big winner here. I have no idea what it's going to be.
Put your hands
here we
up.
go.
For goodness sake, put your hands up.
Yeah, or nobody's going to vote. All right, how about the third beer, the Double, the Belgian Double?
That's the first.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Irish Red, excuse me. All right, well, we don't have a clear winner, really. I mean, okay, all right. How about the next beer, the Belgian Double?
It's a good beer.
All right, and the last beer.
Wow.
Well, that's pretty wide
Well, thank
spectrum
you.
there, huh?
Thank you, guys.
The last 3 are almost about the same.